Hi, my name is Chris Clopton. I've been asked to share two testimonies, financial testimonies with you here today. One talking about how God increased my storehouse, and the other one about how God has helped save some money as well. I'll start out with my first testimony in my job. I am in IT sales, and I've been in there for about 15 months, and God has really been blessing me through this job, through a transition. And recently I was working on a major deal that was supposed to be really big right before COVID hit, and deal was supposed to close in March, the end of March. And as we know, when COVID had hit, it really began to change everything. So that deal completely fell through. We had talked about hopefully if we could postpone it to the end of April, and after a while there was like, no, I think we're done. And then some more talks began. And there was a possibility that something may happen by the end of April. At this time, it's so easy, and as a sales guy, to become very frustrated. There was nothing I could really do. It was out of my control how God was really moving. I remember you say, Chris, step aside and let me control. And I just began to really pray and really began to seek and cry out to God. We began hit. I cover the travel and transportation industry and the retail industry, two of the largest industries that really been hit the heaviest with regards to COVID. As we began to try to have some conversations with our customer, it's just it's amazing. We were able to close a deal at the end of April, which was the biggest deal for my company, so far in this half for my unit. And this deal really was a transformational deal. I remember when I was sharing this with my wife, once we realized, how this would be a blessing to us. Looking back when I first started in my previous employer, just this one opportunity was more than what I made annually in my first 5 years of my previous job. And I remember when I was sharing this information, it was in front of us with my wife, and we just both began to weep and both began to cry. And what just ministered to my heart is when the first words my wife said, her eyes just lit up and big. It's like, wow, I can't wait till we tithe. This is gonna be the biggest tithing check that we've ever done. And it was so spot on. It wasn't about what can we do next or what can we buy next. How can we be a blessing, and how can we sow into the kingdom and give our 10%. And it was such a blessing how God had really moved. And it now has even opened up doors for me to begin to look at management opportunities within my company, and even being mentored with some senior vice presidents. So it's really been an opening door. God has been blessing me with favor with this company. So in my second testimony regarding saving money, my wife and I really been trying to focus on areas where we can cut and be more efficient, and just being better stewards financially. So we looked at refinancing our house, and so we found a lender. And in the process, we had a certain interest rate we thought was really competitive, really good. We began to receive calls from the lender, two different salespeople from the lender, and we found ourselves in a situation where three salespeople in the same lender were fighting for our business, which you don't get that. You normally work with one person, to the point where the manager had to get involved, and each salesperson had a lower interest rate that they were willing to offer. So finally, when this manager got involved, where he's talking to me, he's like, he's scratching his head, not understanding why I've been approached by three different salespeople. So, he was like, hey, I want to honor the lowest rate. We want to keep your business. So we're able to close with a rate way above, about more than a percentage, less than what we were originally paying. So we're able to save thousands and thousands of dollars on a home refinance. So God right now is really moving. He's really blessing, and He's given us the grace, financially. And what He's been sharing with me is walk out there in faith and watch how He moves before me and how He covers us. So be blessed.